Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com, and in this video we're going to talk about the software and web browser on the HTC Legend. We're also going to do a speed test against the HTC HD2 and the iPhone 3GS. So let's get started. Let's go through some of these programs that are included on the device. Zoom into the screen. We already talked about a lot of these things, and really the stuff that we haven't talked about we'll cover in full in the review, but I just want to give you a preview of what we're dealing with here. So there's an FM radio application, which is quite nice. You plug in headphones, you get FM radio. Let's take a look at the YouTube application, because a lot of people are very interested in that. And here it is, and let's see, we can search by really anything up here. We can go to most viewed, most discussed. Let's just click on, say, the one at the top. Or, yeah, let's go to the one at the top. And we're over Wi-Fi right now, so let's see how it looks. By the way, everything on the AMOLED screen looks so good.
Has got that goal, and we're off to Fratton Park, where
very clear, very good audio, smooth video, comes through very well on the in the YouTube application, which is quite nice to see. And let's go back, and of course it flips over into the landscape orientation when you change the device's orientation, which is nice. Let's go back and let's launch the web browser. It's a typical Android browser. It does support Flash, which is nice. And let's go to, say, engadget.com. And a note on the keyboard, which, by the way, can go into landscape to get a nicer angle. The keyboard is quite nice. It has vibration feedback. The trouble with the keyboard is that it's kind of small on the screen, and that's just because the screen itself is only 3.2 inches. So you really don't get that much screen real estate to work with. When the Desire comes out, it will have a much larger screen. It will have the same experience with the Sense interface that the Legend does, but like I said, in a bigger package with a larger screen, higher resolution screen. So here it comes. Engadget is loading right now, and we'll give it a second to load. Let's go into landscape for a better view. It's not the fastest web browser. It seems to always have some trouble towards the end here, so we can scroll down. It does have multi-touch, which is nice, very responsive multi-touch. You can also double tap to zoom into a column, and if you wait a second, eventually it will resize it to fit nicely, but sometimes it just gets stuck. The Legend could absolutely benefit from a faster processor, perhaps more RAM, or you should just get the Desire, which has more RAM and a faster processor. So scrolling is very smooth. We don't really get the checkerboard pattern even if we go very fast. Let's zoom in on a headline and tap on it to open it. So, whoops. See, again, it kind of jumps around. This is another indication that it's not performing really as it should be. So I'm trying to get to a permalink. Okay, there we go. Let's see how long that takes. All right, here it comes, and again, it kind of gets stuck at the end at times, and we can double tap to zoom in, and there, it reflowed the column. Looks pretty good, very capable web browser. We can also jump to other windows. We can go to the Windows button here, and we can add a new window for some tabbed browsing. So here, htc.com/us is loading, and it's actually going to load some Flash content. There it goes, Flash on a phone. What an idea. It's not super smooth, it's a little bit choppy, but it's better than nothing. Let's go back to menu, we can go to Windows, we can quickly flip over to the previous page, and you can keep opening Windows until you run out of memory, which I have not yet done, although it gets very slow. Okay, so let's go back into Portrait here. I'm going to close the other window. We're going to do a speed test between the HD2 and the iPhone 3GS. So I'm going to zoom out, got the HD2 here, the iPhone 3GS here. Let's open, turn these on so they will connect to my Wi-Fi network. Already done on both. And let me stop it here. And I'm going to go to Pocketnow.com on all of these devices, and let's see which will load the fastest. And I have to type the entire address on the Legend here. All right, so let's see if I can do this at one time. Okay, there we go. So this is going to be a challenge. I'm going to have to position my fingers, and so I'm going to go here, here, and here. 1, 2, 3. The HD2 was a little bit behind. So even though the HD2 is a little behind, you can still tell that it's taking a little while to load for some reason. And there it comes. And the iPhone 3GS actually was the slowest. That's kind of strange. So let's look at the browsing experience compared to these. Okay, and here we can very well see the difference in screen contrast. The AMOLED screen has a much whiter white, darker blacks. The iPhone 3GS is kind of washed out and a little bit gray looking. And the HD2 with the large screen looks quite nice, but not as nice as the AMOLED screen on the Legend. So let's go into a permalink. So I'm going to find a store here, double tap to zoom in. Tap once to zoom in. All of these have different controls, and I'll double tap over here, and let's get ready to tap on all of these headlines together. Okay, pretty good there. And let's see which loads the fastest. Okay, the HD2 finished, and the Legend was next, and the 3GS was last, surprisingly. Let's see how they fare when we turn them over into landscape mode. So first we'll test these two devices together. Let's flip it. Okay, so the HD2 was faster. HD2 was faster, and the Legend next to the 3GS. Let's do a flip here. Oh, that already went over. Okay, and flip. Okay, so the Legend has a little bit of a problem in going into portrait, as we can see. It was beat by both the iPhone 3GS and by the HD2. But overall, the web browsing on the Legend is pleasant, not as good as some other devices. I think that's in part because of the lack of high-powered processor and also the slight deficiency of RAM that we're not going to get on the Desire, which comes out next, and really builds on what the Legend has brought to the table. So we've got a lot more coming up in terms of battery life, talking about performance, and also call quality in the full review coming up on Pocketnow.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter to see exactly when it hits, twitter.com/PocketNowTweets. That's it for now.